Mr. Leslie, the Americans seem to want to have a fast negotiation, ending by December or certainly early in the next year. Do you think that's at all possible? It sounds like it's a very complicated thing. I know the government's done a lot of preparation, but are you prepared for such a short negotiation?
We've done an enormous amount of preparation, not only we, the government, at the federal level, but provincial, municipal, and a whole bunch of business associations, and we've talked a lot with our American friends. Look, Don, this is my first round of trade negotiations. I'm here to help and assist. I can say that in my study of negotiations in other endeavors, mainly military, no one has ever actually accurately predicted the end of negotiations. So we will see what we will see. The more complex the negotiation, usually the longer it takes.
Now, the minister was saying today the government is going to defend supply management in dairy. There are a lot of Canadians that aren't sure supply management in dairy should be defended. How is that going to work, do you think, in the negotiations? What are we going to tell the Americans that will justify us maintaining the kind of supply management we have now?
Well, Don, what we're not going to do is we're not going to negotiate those sensitive sorts of details in public, keeping in mind that negotiations don't start until Wednesday. I will, however, repeat what others have said. That is, supply management is something that's near and dear to our commercial and national interests. And in the case of dairy, the American advantage as compared to Canada in terms of the trade imbalance is 5-1 in their favor, point one. Point two, let's not forget that the Americans directly subsidize their dairy farmers. Where in Canada we limit supply, in the United States they encourage oversupply by giving them direct subsidies. So let's talk about a level playing field.
And briefly, are you at all concerned, is the government at all concerned that the way the government in the United States operates, it's very hard to predict what could come up next, and that maybe the NAFTA negotiations may become kind of a political football for other things, whether it's the Russian investigation of Mr. Trump's contacts or North Korea or something else, and that all of this may be for naught if Mr. Trump suddenly feels that not renegotiating NAFTA is not a good thing for him, and he pulls out of the negotiations instead.
I think the key in any negotiations is not necessarily to focus on what people say in the run-up to the negotiations, on what they actually do. And we've spent the last 9 months now working very hard with our American friends, in my case cousins, making sure that we understand each other's points of view. The negotiations start on Wednesday. We have a superb team. I would argue probably the best negotiating team in the world, one of the most experienced, if not the most experienced, and we're in very good hands.
Thank you.
More than welcome, sir.